Stephanie. I'm the Adult Programming Coordinator.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I work in reference.
And today we're going to be doing our carry-out craft, and this is the faux stained glass. Now, Melissa is, again, an excellent artist, crafter. She's done many of our programs, and she's the one who came up with this. You said you'd done it in the past.
I have. I've actually done this program, and for those of you that remember it, it was actually called the Man in the Moon faux stained glass. And everybody pretty much just did this design, and then they had kind of free range of color that they used with it.
But what we're doing is, since this is COVID world, you get to carry it out and take it home. So just like with the fairy gardens, you sign up, and then when your package, your carry-out craft, arrives at the location you want to pick it up at, and you can pick it up anywhere, they'll call you to let you know it's available. So it's not instantaneously available. You can't just walk in. You have to call and register first. But we're also going to do a couple designs, because some people are a little bit more of a beginner
Yes.
like myself, and you're much more skilled. You and Nora.
Yeah, so we're going to have a beginner, an intermediate, and then an advanced, which the advanced one is the one that I have actually been working on, and it is the mermaid design, and we're actually going to show you how to do this today. And I purposefully left this area right here not colored in,
Yeah,
because we're going to go through the steps.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you some of the stuff that but we'll be doing a sun and a flower. And my sun isn't done yet. But, and basically in your kit, what you're gonna have is a 5x7 frame and paint, but it's not gonna be in these kind of containers. It's gonna be in little tubs. Clear glue, also in little tubs. Puffy paint and a paintbrush, and then you'll want to use a paper plate from home to mix your paints and stuff. And so we're going to go over all the details on how to actually do this fun craft, or better yet, Melissa's going to tell me how to do this fun craft. And hopefully when you get yours, please share a picture of it with us, because we'd love to see your stained glass.
Yes. Okay, so first step, what you're going to do when you pick up your package for this, you're going to get, like Stephanie said, your 5x7, and
Okay.
it is going to be...
Do we want to do this part?
Oh,
For the... I'm going to stop.
I know.
All right, so how do we start, Melissa?
Okay, so what you're going to do to begin this craft is you're going to take the glass panel out of the frame.
Okay. All right, and so if you're clumsy like I am, or if you have somebody younger in your life doing this program, you might want to hold the glass, get it out for them.
Yes.
Okay. You have to be gentle about unfolding the tongs.
And when you sign up for this, you're actually going to receive 3 different patterns: the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced. So you would be able to choose which one you want to use.
And so I chose the sunburst because that's the easiest one.
Yep.
So did you just stuck it behind there?
Yep, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your glass panel and you're going to lay it right down on top of the design that you choose. And the reason why we have these in black and white is because you're going to be using puffy paint to do the outline of the design. And the reason why you want to do this is because it gives the effect of lead lines. So after you get it lined up, there's 2 different ways you can do this. If you do have a marker, you can just use your marker and then just draw these lines out. Or if you want to, just go straight to your puffy paint, and you're going to use your puffy paint just to draw your lead lines.
Ooh, that's way too thick of a line, isn't it?
That will work.
That's too thick, isn't it?
It is a little thick, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
I guess I didn't need to press so hard. Wonder if I could.
So this one is going to be the beginner one, and after you put your puffy paint on, you do ideally want to let it dry first before you add the colors in between to give the sun rays effect.
And the reason for that is?
The reason why is because if you start to add color in between where your faux lead lines are, these the puffy paint's actually going to mix with it, so you'll start to have
have black in all of it.
You will.
Well, I know that that's amazing. My lines are just spot on.
They look gorgeous.
They look gorgeous, don't they? I'm pretty skilled at this. So that's pretty much all you have to do, except for if you do one of the more advanced ones, there's a lot more lines involved.
Yes.
And so a lot more detail comes into play.
So with this one, after you do all of your lead lines, this is where you're going to start mixing in your paint with the clear glue. Now you want to make sure that you're going to receive clear glue, but when I actually did the program, people had asked if you could use, like if they were to go home and make this themselves, could they use white glue? And the answer is no. You want to use clear because that's what's going to give it the effect of looking like stained glass.
Now, why are you mixing it for the novice like myself? Why do you mix, because we're using acrylic paint, why do you put it with the clear glue?
Because that's going to thin it out enough to where it's not going to be too thick.
Because otherwise it'd be opaque and you wouldn't be able to see through it and it wouldn't be stained glass. Okay.
So on mine, the majority of it has been painted except for this area over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down on top of my design. Now you'll notice that the back of it right here, this is where when you get it matched up, again, this is where I'm going to go back through and I'm going to put in the lead lines, and then I'm going to add the paint in between, and that will actually get this finished up. So on this one, there's only this one line left right here to do.
Your line's much neater than mine.
Okay. So that's all I'm going to need, but for time purposes, I do want to go ahead and show you how to mix the paint. So when you're working with your acrylic paint, you want to put about a quarter size amount of the clear glue onto your plate. And you actually don't need very much of the paint to mix in with it, just like a tiny little speck.
If I was doing it just because. So we just need, for mine, since I'll be needing red, just that much paint.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Okay.
And then you're just going to mix in the clear glue on top of that.
I guess I didn't open it all the way.
And you want to start with about a quarter size amount, and then if you need to thin it out more from there.
Is that about it?
Yeah, that looks great. And what you do from there is you're basically just going to take your brush and start to mix it with the clear glue. And if you don't think that it's thin enough, just add more clear glue. Or if you feel like it's too thin, then just add more of the clear glue to it. Okay. So on here, all you do, after you preferably let your lead lines dry, is you're going to start adding on your paint.
Is there any brush strokes that you need to be doing or worried about?
No, not really.
Not with this?
Not with this. You just kind of want to do whatever you want with it. And so this right here is where it gets tough if you don't let it dry, because the puffy paint wants to get into it. But yeah, you just want to go through and add the color to it. And then this section right here is actually going to be this blue right here, this lighter colored blue. And if you get close to where another section is, after it's dried, it's actually really okay to do that, because it raises up. So that's where your fake lead line is going to be. So it's typically not going to go over that.
And that's the reason why you're using the puffy paint, so that it also kind of helps make that barrier a little bit more pronounced when you're painting.
Yes. And again, if you feel like it's too thin, just add more paint to it, and that will give it a darker appearance.
Will that also affect the color?
It will. It will make it darker.
And so, of course, we'll be giving you some colors, but you can always mix and match or mix colors to make different colors if you need them, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this one, we're going to use the lighter color blue.
Oops. Oh, I guess I could move that out of the way so that it's a little bit easier for you to get to. Oh, I made a total mess out of that.
And the nice thing about this, if you do see some colors start to swirl, it actually gives a very beautiful effect to it. So like on mine, you'll notice my lead lines, I kind of mix in some of the blues over here because it's supposed to be an ocean. And so I wanted to give that effect of it not just being solid, like a solid color all the way through. So it's okay if you want to mix those colors in between as well.
You can take that out. Sorry, it's just.
Okay. All right, so this one, what you would want to do is ideally just let it sit for at least 24 hours to dry. And after you do that, when you flip it back over, you'll be able to see areas that you may want to go back over again and add more paint. So you can see closer to the mermaid on here that there's some areas that I missed. And so the areas that you miss on here, you want to just be able to go back over again. And you can keep doing that until you feel like it looks as well as you want it to be. However, if you want to add different colors to it and maybe do different swirls, you could do that. And make it darker, make it lighter if you want to.
And you also mentioned you could do you could leave it blank in certain areas that you want there to be white space if you did want there to be clear space. Not white space, clear space.
Yes, you can.
Or if you had Mod Podge.
Yes, and the nice thing about Mod Podge is if you wanted to have a clear space on here, you could put Mod Podge on here and it gives a swirled effect.
Oh, okay. But that's not something we're including. That's just if you happen to have it.
Yes.
But that looks really cool.
Okay, so that one is going to be the advanced one. This one is one that our coworker made, and the flowers is going to be the intermediate level. And then the one that you were working on, once it dries, that one is going to be the sun design.
And the good thing with these is that you can be as creative as you want to. Just because, this sunburst happens to be rainbow sunburst and this mermaid happens to have blonde hair, doesn't mean that yours has to. You can have a little fun with your design.
Exactly.
Anything that you have, you can make a design of.
True.
If you want a freehand drawing, you can paint that as well.
Coloring pages work really well with this. So if you have some coloring pages and maybe you don't want to do one of the 3 designs that we have, use a coloring page that you may have in your home or print one off, and you can do whatever design you want.
When you put it back in your frame, in order for it to be stained glass, you can't put the backing back into it, because then it's going to be matted, and you won't be able to see through it. So you can do like Nora did, where she has it just loose in there, just with the little clips down, and then you can put it in a window, and it really is beautiful.
It really does give a stained glass effect.
And one of the things I was telling you that I'd seen is that, or that my grandmother had done before, is I remembered when I was little, we painted on glass, but instead we took in between the glass and the backboard, we crumpled up aluminum foil and put it in between the two, and so it gave a little shimmery effect. So if you do want to leave it with the backing in it, it is an option. just in case you don't have a window you can put it in front of. That's just an idea. And thank you for joining us. These are all of our finished crafts, sunburst, mermaid, and flower. And they will be in your packet. We're packing up all of the crafts, so all you have to do is sign up, and then we'll call you when it's available for you to pick it up. We're limiting to 3 per household, just to make sure as many people as possible can enjoy this craft. And we hope you enjoy it, and be sure and tag us in your finished results with hashtag #PickensReads. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye.